In the world of finance, trust is everything. Investors hand over billions of dollars to people simply because they look respectable. A sharp suit, a luxury office, a calm smile, and a long history of success. And on Wall Street, there was no one more trusted than Bernie Madoff, a quiet man, respected and admired by almost everyone. Billionaires trusted him, banks respected him, and thousands of people believed their money was completely safe with him. But behind that perfect image was a terrifying secret. A secret that survived for decades without anyone noticing. A massive financial fraud that swallowed more than $65 billion and later became the biggest financial scam in modern history. Bernie Madoff was born in New York City. From a young age, he became fascinated with money and investing. He started his life in a relatively simple way, working small jobs, saving money, and slowly building his first business. But Bernie understood something very important. People don't just invest in numbers, they invest in trust. Over time, he built his own investment company, and as the American financial markets expanded, his name became more and more famous. He looked intelligent, calm, organized. He wasn't loud like many other businessmen searching for attention. Instead, he appeared balanced, professional, like someone who always knew exactly what he was doing, and that made people feel safe around him. Within a few years, Bernie Madoff's company became one of the most respected names on Wall Street. Wealthy investors started talking about him. Then, major financial institutions began investing with him, and over time, getting access to his investment fund almost felt exclusive. Not everyone could invest with Bernie Madoff. And strangely, that made people want in even more, because people naturally want things that feel rare and exclusive. While markets moved up and down, Bernie's returns always appeared stable, even during difficult times, and that convinced investors that he had discovered some secret strategy nobody else understood. Some people called him a financial genius. Others believed he was the safest man on Wall Street, but the truth was completely different. In reality, Bernie Madoff was not generating the profits he promised. There was no magical investment strategy, no secret financial system. Instead, there was an old scam, a scam known as a Ponzi scheme. The idea was simple, but extremely dangerous. Instead of generating real profits, he used money from new investors to pay older investors, and because older investors kept receiving profits, they told their friends. Their friends invested more money. Then new money arrived to cover the old promises, and the cycle continued. As long as fresh money kept flowing in, the scam could survive. But there was one major problem. A system like this can never survive forever. Eventually, it always collapses. The question that shocked the world later was simple. How did nobody discover the truth? How could one man fool the financial world for decades? The answer was that Bernie Madoff never looked like a criminal. He looked trustworthy, quiet, professional, respectable. He wasn't flashy like many other fraudsters. He didn't constantly show off luxury cars. He didn't chase attention. He simply looked successful, and that made him even more dangerous. Even major financial institutions failed to uncover the truth. Or maybe they simply didn't want to ask difficult questions, because everyone was making money, and when people are making money, they often stop asking questions. As the years passed, Bernie Madoff's network grew larger and larger. Wealthy Europeans, American celebrities, charities, major banks, everyone wanted to invest with him. Some people even felt proud just to gain access to his company. His reputation became so powerful that many investors didn't even care how he generated profits. All they cared about was that the money kept coming. Month after month, year after year, without problems. But behind the scenes, pressure was building, because the moment new money stopped arriving, the entire system would collapse. Years passed. Wall Street kept growing. The American economy looked strong. But in 2008, the global financial crisis began. Banks started collapsing. Markets entered panic mode, and investors became terrified. Suddenly, many people wanted their money back, and that's when the real problem appeared. Bernie Madoff didn't actually have enough money, because the entire system depended on a constant flow of new investors. But during the financial crisis, that flow slowed down dramatically, and the scam began collapsing fast. In what felt like a single moment, everything began to collapse. Investors wanted their billions of dollars back, but the money simply wasn't there. The old promises started to unravel, and fear spread at an incredible speed. Then came the moment that changed everything. Bernie Madoff confessed the truth. He admitted that the entire operation had been a massive fraud. For decades, there had been no real profits, just new money being used to keep the illusion alive. The world was stunned. How could one of the biggest names on Wall Street turn out to be nothing more than a giant scam? After the truth was exposed, the real disaster began to unfold. Thousands of people lost their life savings. Some families lost everything they owned. Charitable organizations collapsed. Wealthy investors lost billions of dollars. And many people simply couldn't believe what had happened. Because Bernie Madoff wasn't just a businessman. He was a symbol of financial trust. And when he fell, a tremendous amount of confidence in the entire financial system fell with him. After the collapse, federal investigations began. U.S. authorities tried to understand how this fraud had managed to continue for so many years, and with every new investigation, even more shocking details came to light. Previous warnings had been ignored, serious concerns had not been fully investigated, and major weaknesses within the financial system were exposed. Many people began asking the same question: could this disaster have been stopped much earlier? But by then, it was too late. The billions had already vanished. The man who once sat in luxurious offices had now become a symbol of financial deception. Media outlets around the world began reporting on what was widely considered the largest fraud in modern history. Images of Bernie Madoff appeared everywhere, and the people who had trusted him felt betrayed. Many victims said the loss wasn't just financial, it was emotional as well, because they had placed their complete trust in him, and some of them lost everything they had spent a lifetime building. In the end, Bernie Madoff was arrested. The entire world followed his trial. The case became one of the biggest financial scandals in history, and the court handed down an exceptionally harsh sentence: 150 years in prison. It was a clear message to the financial world. Even the largest frauds in history will not go unpunished. But for many of the victims, no punishment was enough, because the money that disappeared would never come back. The real reason behind Bernie Madoff's success wasn't just intelligence, it was trust. People wanted to believe him. They wanted to believe that someone could deliver steady profits no matter what was happening in the market. Greed played a major role as well. When investors continue to see returns, they often ignore warning signs, and that's exactly what happened. The warnings were there, but many people didn't want to hear them. Because the truth was terrifying. After Bernie Madoff's collapse, the financial world changed. Regulations became stricter, and investors became more cautious. But the story remained a powerful warning to the entire world, because it proved something deeply unsettling. Even the biggest names in finance can be built on an illusion, and blind trust can be even more dangerous than greed itself. The story of Bernie Madoff is not just a story of financial fraud. It is a story about trust, about greed, and about how one man managed to deceive the world for decades. simply because he appeared respectable enough. For years, almost no one questioned the truth until everything suddenly collapsed and the massive financial empire became one of the greatest disasters in Wall Street history. But perhaps the most disturbing part of the entire story is what it revealed about the world of finance. Sometimes the person who appears to be the safest may actually be the most dangerous of all.